did not see one trailer. I just saw the poster. I was at Walmart, just looking at movies, you know, trying to buy something good, whatever. Saw this cover. I like the colors of it. I like the blue and the pinkish. I thought this was a pretty cool cover. Johnny Knoxville, it looks like kind of like a horror movie. Alexandra Daddario, she's hot. I love her. So I was like, I'm gonna buy it. Never heard of it. It was like $13.96. It was a cheap movie. I was like, why not? We Summon the Darkness. This film was released in December of 2019 in certain festivals, and then in April of 2020 was released onto On Demand. A movie, again, I have never even heard of. I literally just saw the cover at Walmart. I was like, why not? And then I watched it, and I was like, now I know why it was $13.96 in Walmart, just sitting there. Had a nice slipcover and all, and then I had to like watch certain reviews. I had to see what people thought about this. The movie, critic-wise, currently has a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics. Then it's got a 37% for fans. I'm the fans, but a lot lower. The film stars Alexandra Daddario, Johnny Knoxville, and is set in 1988. Basically, these three girls are on a road trip to go to a rock and roll concert, and in this area of the concert has been these killings. 18, as they said in the very beginning. Once they meet these three other guys, Alexandra takes them back to her house in the nearest area to have a party. Things go wrong, bump in the night, blood is spilled, and we have our entertainment movie. Now listen, I love watching movies knowing absolutely nothing. Again, did not see a trailer, have not heard of this movie, and I watched it and I just think to myself, you know, currently right now I'm actually working on a film, a feature film. Don't want to get any details, but I've learned a lot this summer. I've learned a lot this past year. Watching this movie, in the eyes of my own eyes, I have now realized how much I have to learn, because this is what not to do for a horror thriller movie. This is actually hilarious. I think this movie is so bad, it's kind of funny, but I've actually seen people like this movie. Like I said, critics like this movie. And you know what? Good for them. But for me, this is a pile of shit. Like, what was this movie? I have so much to talk about. If I have any little positives, I would say one thing. There's one cool shot of a person in a living room into a kitchen. The camera does this across the house and goes right back to it. That's about it. I laughed in certain scenes of how bad the directing is. I'll start with that. The directing is actually awful. It's seriously some of the worst blocking of a scene I have ever witnessed in a movie. For example, these characters, they are running into this doorway. The doorway leads to outside. They are trying to escape our villainous characters. When they get to this door, they open the door. The door is slightly open. All they gotta do is dart the fuck out of this house. One guy gets sliced in the arm. When that happens, he turns and his friend that's opened the door shuts it, grabs him, runs back into the house, into the kitchen, and it's slowly jogging villainous characters coming after these guys, and they have a pan and they boink, and they slowly walk over to the person and they boink, and it's just, and then they trap themselves in this room. And I just, like, that's a scene in my example that has terrible directing / blocking of a scene. It is horrifically bad. There are many scenes like that where you're watching it and you're thinking, these characters can get away from these villainous characters. Again, I don't want to get into spoilers, like I said. The movie has been out for a while, apparently, but I know a lot of people that haven't seen this movie either, and I want you to experience how bad funny this movie is in my point of view. But these villainous characters, their objective, like, the reason why our villainous characters are doing villainous things, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion. It's very, like, yeah, like, I don't want to spoil it, but it doesn't make sense, and it's such a, like, twist, because we have our three main lead characters, the females, and in the first 30 minutes you get to meet them in their car, talking about makeup, whatever, they're like rock and roll, trying to get to this concert, they get chocolate milk thrown in their car for no damn reason, never comes up again. I mean, it does come up, but it's never like implied why they got chocolate milk thrown at them. It's funny though, and once they get to this concert, meet these guys, I'm sitting there thinking this movie is going nowhere quick. Then something happens, I was like, okay, I like what you're doing, and then once this thing happens, then it just turns into like, so what was the first 30 minutes? What was this character development that we should be caring about? What was all these moments in the beginning of the movie lead to something like one girl has a pee bladder and she's always peeing. Never comes up ever again, honestly. It just goes out of the movie. Is it a joke? I don't know if it's a joke. It's the writing and the dialogue is first draft material. Like, I'm talking awful. Like, I'm actually working on a film script right now, like this moment. I'm almost done with it. It's my first draft. First drafts usually aren't the movie that you get. Usually the movie is 1000% different, and I know that. I'm gonna work on the script again. This feels like a one draft movie. The dialogue is hilariously bad, and it's such the dialogue that's saying things that the characters are thinking, but you don't need them to say it because, like, we know what this scene is, don't say it. And it is just performed horribly. I think everyone in this movie is either going way too serious for this movie or is over the top. Over the top goes to Alexandra Daddario. She is crazy eyes, like, woo, like, ah, screaming, and she is completely just over the top. Kinda hilarious, though. Like, her performance is the one thing I'll say, like, was entertaining to watch. Her. She's really pretty. I'll give her that. And she is a good actress, but my goodness, she was also a producer on this movie, too. She watched Jack Nicholson's The Shining and said, I want to do that. And it just, nope, did not work. Like, again, all the acting was just meh. Her blonde friend, the one who had to pee a lot, over the top. The one quiet friend that's just trying to get into this rock and roll kind of stuff, yeah, she is the one that's trying to be more serious. I would say she was the best performance out of the movie, but that's not saying much. Our three male leads in this movie, they're all generic, high smoking, drinking, rock and roll kind of guys, and then once shit hits the fan, they become the heroine guys and knives and everything, and it's very just like your cliche kind of guys in horror movies like this. But then we get Johnny Knoxville, who's on the poster, on the back of the Blu-ray, has his face right on it. Like, he's advertised a lot in this movie. He's in the movie for 4 minutes? 5 minutes? Maybe 4 minutes and like 30 seconds. He is not, like, he is such a useless character in my opinion. He's literally there for no reason. And Johnny Knoxville, I'll give it to him. He tried, but he's not a serious actor. He's not threatening at all. He is nothing in this movie. He is literally there to spill out plot points. There's also this other character, the stepmom character. Totally useless. She is there for something else to arrive at the house just for that scene to continue to add runtime, in my opinion. Her whole little scene adds to nothing. It adds to absolutely nothing. So like I've said, the writing is absolutely horrible. The directing is not very good. The acting is very just horrible or over the top hilarious. There's many scenes you're just watching, you're like, this is just boring, and it's supposed to be an exciting scene and everything, but these characters are so stupid. There's one character who is very much on the brink of death. They give this person the gun, the only gun they have, and then this character chooses a boat saw, not saw, but like the back of the boat, the motor end, yeah. I'm sorry, but if you're going upstairs in the darkness, like, why the actual fuck are you not gonna take the gun? I know he's dying, and he's obviously needs a weapon too, because he's downstairs, but why, if you're trying to go upstairs to get, like, keys to a car, why would you not take the gun? I'm just saying, like, in a motivational real-world scenario, Why the fuck would you not take the gun? Am I wrong? Am I wrong here? Why would you not take the gun? All you gotta do is walk up there. They have knives. Just bam. Keys. Get the fuck out of there. And like, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. But to end this review purposely, because I knew I want to talk about this thing, I have to talk about this. This is the icing on the cake. I've told you how bad this movie is, but I just need to talk about this certain thing. The movie is set in 1988. It's really cool, right? I'm sorry. This is the most terrible location setting for 1988 I have ever seen in a movie. The only thing that is telling me it's 1988 is the guy's mullet and their semi-clothing items, but the directors and writers were smart enough to take rock and roll leather and everything to add it to their character because it makes it more look like, oh, it's 1988, so this is easier for us on costume design. It's just lazy costume design, and I just don't see that really well. But let me just say this. The Jeep they are driving, that brand of Jeep, was not in 1988. It wasn't, and I looked it up. That brand of Jeep was not in 1988. The main vehicle our characters are driving, not even available in that 80s. And then to top it off, this 2020 looking house that they stay at, which looks nothing like a 1988 house, which I know there was rich houses back then. It's a big house and everything. But man, oh man, there is a very expensive, nice 2020 sink, microwave, the countertopping, like it looks 2020. There's literally, like I said, a 2020 brand new sink. Was in 1988. So that is all I have to say about that. I will give We Summon the Darkness an F. If you like this movie, go ahead and like it. Don't get mad at me for disliking the movie. I'm just saying, as a directing, writing, acting, story, just movie, it just didn't work in my opinion. But if you like this movie and thought it was entertaining and really awesome and rock and roll, then awesome. I am glad you guys liked it. But leave a comment below if you've seen it, tell me what you thought about it, and come back here tomorrow as my very next series of directors or anything, but this time we're doing Pixar movies. Yes, guys, I'm going to review all the Pixar movies I have not reviewed starting tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.